पॉलिसी बाजार पर 1 करोड़ रुपए का टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस केवल 450 रुपए महीने से शुरू। Wow.
Hello and welcome to No Spin. I'm Nidhi Razdan. Tonight, the big battle for Karnataka has begun. With assembly elections only months away, they are due in May. BJP President JP Nadda began a 2-day tour of the state today that includes visits to some key mutts. Karnataka is going to be an important and a very interesting battle for many reasons. Both the ruling BJP and the Congress are riddled with infighting in their ranks. It's no secret that former Chief Minister B.S. Yadurappa and Chief Minister Bommai do not see eye to eye. And for the BJP, the challenge is on other fronts as well. It faces anti-incumbency, accusations of corruption, which have made headlines regularly. But the Congress is in trouble as well. There too, there has been a long-standing disagreement between State Congress Chief D.K. Shivakumar and former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. The third key player in the state is the Janata Dal secular, which has the potential to tilt the scales. So who exactly is winning Karnataka? Well, first, I'd like to welcome on the show Dr. C.N. Ashwath Narayan, the Minister for Higher Education of Karnataka. Thank you very much, Dr. Narayan, for being with us. The BJP is facing big challenges, as I was mentioning there, anti-incumbency, corruption charges and internal rebellion in your party. How do you see the party overcoming these issues ahead of the polls?
Yeah, Bharatiya Janata Party government in state of Karnataka, we have done a lot of good things, a lot of progress has happened, a lot of reforms has been brought in, and we have given a very good governance. In the terms of development, we have been doing extremely well. When it comes to in the terms of governance, we have been doing well, and we have come out with new policies, new systems, and many welfare schemes. It has been always people-centric. Normally, there is a tendency to make allegation, baseless allegation. So far, none of the opposition parties, they have made any allegation with any proof, any documentation. It is only based on hearsay or rumors or some kind of, false allegations have been made. So for not even once, they made any allegation on a right grounds. And we are the people who have brought back Lokayukta also, reinstated the powers what was withdrawn from the Lokayukta, it's been reinstated. The Congress party, they had withdrawn all the powers, whatever was given to the Lokayukta. They just wanted to create an alternative forum, ACB. To cover up their acts of omission and commissions, they wanted to just cover it up. They did whatever possible to cover up, and they wanted to ensure that nothing goes against them, even though they did a lot of corruption, the misuse of power, everything was done by them.
But aren't you worried, Dr. Narayan, about differences between B.S. Yadurappa and Chief Minister Bommai, and that these could hurt the party? Because it's very clear that those differences exist.
We don't have any difference. See, Basraj Bommai ji has grown under Yadurappa ji in our party, and he looks up to Yadurappa ji as a fatherly figure, and his guidance and his mentorship is there for all the leaders, especially for our Honorable Chief Minister. And I don't see any difference. It is only just, from outside, they're just trying to create this kind of narratives. There's a difference. They've been going together, they've been attending programs together, they've been addressing the programs together, they've been traveling together, they've been working together. All the time he visits Yadurappa ji, takes his guidance, and he's been working. So I don't see any difference. It is only a narrative been set by our opposition. They just want to make some statement, they just want to create some kind of confusion among the people.
Well, what exactly is the BJP poll agenda going to be, if I could ask you that? Because there is a sense that polarizing issues are being deliberately raked up because, the party doesn't want to focus on anything else but that. Your state party president, Mr. Katir, controversially said this week, don't focus on roads, but focus on love jihad.
See, our government and our party, we emphasize more on a double engine sarkar. How Government of India and Government of Karnataka have been working very closely, how the central programs have been given topmost priority, when earlier government was there, even the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Yojana was not implemented, Jal Jeevan Mission was not implemented. Like this, many programs which can make a huge difference or which can empower really the people, those kind of programs were not, implemented in a right spirit. Now with both the governments, the same party government being in power in state of Karnataka and as well as in center, it can bring a lot of synergy and bring in a lot of development in the terms of infrastructure. And BJP, if you look into it, see many reforms which was not done in the past 75 years with regard to the farm laws, with regard to the Revenue Act amendments, enabling and empowering a lot of farmers were put into a lot of inconvenience. So all these, the problems which are not resolved for many centuries and many years, those kind of issues were resolved under our government, and we are not into appeasement politics. The Congress has been always into appeasement politics.
Right.
Always they tend to, get
Right,
into
but
appeasement
Dr. Narayan,
politics. And people, that is why the people have rejected them, and they don't look up to any Congress party.
But
They look
Dr.
up
Narayan,
only to...
the question also is, I mean, for example, you yourself actually announced that a Ram temple similar to the one in Ayodhya is going to be built in Karnataka. In fact, the JDS, Mr. Kumaraswamy, attacked you for saying that. Doesn't that feed into the agenda that, that the BJP is primarily looking at these issues rather than development issues?
See, earlier the Ramnagar district was named Close Pete, and later on it was named as Ramnagar. And during the exile of the Lord Rama, he had lived in Ramnagar district. There is a place where he had worshipped Lord Shiva, and this temple has been built. So, to further strengthen and to redevelop the entire place, it is the aspiration, it's an expectation of the people to build the temple. So, in this direction, we have taken up the initiative of building what was existing earlier. There is no controversy with regard to the establishment, the existence of the present temple, there is no controversy. Developing a temple is causing any inconvenience to anybody. It's a good thing, which they have not done it. The very spirit of naming the Ramnagar is evolved or emerged or been inspired by Lord Rama, by the former Chief Minister Kengal Hanmantaya took that initiative of naming the Close Pete as a Ramnagar district. In this direction, we have been developing a lot of temples. Many temples have been developed. So similarly, the Ram temple also has been built. So it is a good thing. We are able to, respond to the people's aspiration. I think it makes sense.
All right, Dr. Narayan, thank you very much for joining us there. So getting some perspective there from the BJP in Karnataka about where it sees itself. Well, let's go straight across to our panel. And in fact, today, Home Minister Amit Shah has also said that the Ram temple in Ayodhya is going to be ready on the 1st of January 2024, just a few months before the Lok Sabha elections. But that announcement has come today, just a few months before these elections. And let me first go across to Sumant Raman, a political analyst and commentator who joins us tonight. Sumant Raman, how do you see this announcement of the Ram Mandir opening? How that may play out in Karnataka in particular?
Not surprising to see such an announcement at all, because I think there is a very strong anti-incumbency wave in Karnataka, and the on performance, the BJP government has very little chance of getting re-elected. Now that doesn't mean that they will not win, because there are any number of factors in the mix which could prevent the Congress from forming a government. Not least of all the battles between D.K. Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah as far as the Congress party is concerned. The factors, the X factor for the BJP is nothing new. I mean, the playbook is very similar. Make Prime Minister Modi campaign 15 rallies, 20 rallies. He is the trump card for the party. Play down the role of the state leaders. Deny sitting MLAs, large numbers of sitting MLAs tickets, and get new fresh faces in to blunt the anti-incumbency. We've seen this, and of course add the polarization mix to the whole thing. This is the standard formula, and I think the BJP will be attempting to do that. Of course, there are also the elements like the AIMIM, SDPI, who can potentially help to split votes in certain areas. So I think that that is the BJP's agenda or action plan. But honestly, if the Congress can get its act together, if they can show or put up a united front, this is an election for the Congress to lose. All things remaining equal, and they may not remain equal at all, the Congress should win Karnataka. How comfortably, one does not know. But surely if they botch it up from here, I think it's going to be a very, very serious issue for the loss for the party.
Well, it's also interesting, of course, that Karnataka, like some other states, also does tend to throw up, different governments every 5 years when elections are held. And I think that's been the case now for 3 decades plus in the state. So it's not that streak hasn't been broken. But Pramila Nisargi of the BJP will, I think, disagree with you and your predictions. But Pramila ji, if I had to ask you to very honestly analyze the BJP's challenges today, would you agree that all these factors together do make it a more challenging election in Karnataka? The anti-incumbency, very clear differences in the leadership. There is a rebellion in the party also. The corruption allegations that keep coming up from time to time. Does that make the fight a little tougher this time?
I just want to tell you, they go on telling about the corruption charges. Just by uttering corruption, where is the corruption? They must come out with a strong plea, no. If there is a corruption, they must come out with documents. They must go to Lokayukta and then file a complaint, either by a private complaint or some other reason, or a police complaint. Where is that complaint? Except stating that there is corruption. And the person who alleged corruption by Mr. Kempana, who is no other than the Contracts Association President, is facing music. Now the FIR has been filed. He was sought to be arrested, and he was arrested, and he is now right on bail. Where is the corruption, madam? I don't know where these people are getting this word, corruption. People who are indulging in corruption, they have no other go to say that others are doing corruption. That is the only thing. So what they see, the power center for both JDS and Congress, for that matter, is Ramnagar and Kanapura.
But ma'am, just to interrupt you there, you have the State Contractors Association, which has come on record saying that they are being harassed to pay a commission of up to 40% on government tenders. They accused MPs in the government, they accused MLAs in the government of pressurizing them. So the allegations are there. I mean, and they've made headlines for a reason. Arrests have also been made. So they're not just being made up.
Some of them are killing themselves.
Exactly.
If there's only an allegation, it stands as an allegation, madam. What prevents them from filing a complaint? The proper authorities, police complaint, Lokayukta complaint.
So are you saying that none of this will impact the BJP's campaign? Are you saying none of this will impact the BJP's campaign in the assembly election?
No, we are only telling that these people are falsely stating that we are corrupt. Allegation is false. That is what they are going to say. There is no basis for this complaint.
Okay.
They know about it.
Let me get the Congress in then. Because Aishwarya Mahadev, on one hand, the government has all these issues that it is facing, challenges that it is facing. But as Sumant Raman rightly pointed out, the Congress also is in trouble. You have very open infighting in your party ranks as well, and that could cost you this election. Is that something you acknowledge you need to get to sort out?
Good evening, Nidhi. I think before I answer that, I'd just like to make one statement, which is that the BJP would love to wish away all their problems. And being dismissive doesn't take away from the fact of the matter that today their government is mired not only in anti-incumbency, but unprecedented levels of corruption. Mr. Ashwath Narayan, made that statement saying, oh, opposition's baseless allegations, fine, you can dismiss the opposition. But what about Contractors Association, who, mind you, their livelihood depends on the government to give them money, and at the risk of being blackballed, they went out and spoke about corruption. Mr. Kempana has been arrested by a defamation suit, not for a crime of his own, because one of their ministers decided to go after him and is basically persecuting him for speaking up the truth. There are teachers' associations, there are religious heads of mutts also talking about this corruption, and let's not even talk about the voter scam. And the last point before I answer what you said, Mr. Ashwath Narayan spoke about this double engine sarkar. Nidhi, the centre owes us 8,199 crores which are pending, which means that 122 flagship schemes which we're supposed to implement are not flagging off. I'm sure you'd like to wish it away, and she will say, oh, it is not true, but it isn't for the papers and for everybody to see. You see, disaster relief has been absolutely abysmal to the level that...
But come to my question now. Infighting in the Congress. Infighting in the Congress. Is that going to hurt your chances?
Congress. 1 second, Nidhi. The fact of the matter remains that the Congress has emphatically stated that it is going to be collective leadership. I personally, whether it's the media department or through work that we have, we work with both of them. This is over exaggerated because if you look at the sort of surveys that we've been doing for different for communities, whether it was in Hubli, whether it was in Vijaypura, whether it's the women's convention we're planning or even the women's manifesto, there is collective leadership. And I believe in 224 seats, not only are we announcing candidates earlier, but we're also working very strongly to ensure
Collective leadership is a euphemism for we can't agree on one leader.
No,
Who is the CM
absolutely
candidate?
not. I believe you cannot deny the fact. One second.
leaders.
You should ask the BJP also that.
I
because
did.
Mr.
I did. So I'm asking
everybody-
you, like, who is your
With
chief
the
ministerial
same-
face?
There's
Who
only
is your
one leader.
leader?
Constitution Sumant Raman, Nidhi, if I may not be interrupted, like not from you, of course, the other panel, I'm sure they can be in right after. The fact remains that you cannot negate whether the communities people come from or the service that they have done. There are several leaders in the state who are extremely capable of leading. There has never been a time that we've gone to polls saying this person is going to be your chief minister.
No,
And I
you
think
have.
the leaders
You have.
acknowledge
But this,
that.
I think, clearly shows
Because
us.
Chief
we
Minister
need to put
Siddaramaiah
that
is
out.
announcing the
Whether it's
candidates.
Uttaranchal, whether it's Himachal, it is not like you had a declared candidate.
about Karnataka.
You had it in Punjab.
I
You had it in
cannot-
Punjab.
we have
You had
elected
Mr.
him.
Channi
Karnataka
declared
was
as the
Karnataka.
chief ministerial face in Punjab. So it's not that the Congress hasn't done it. No, but
Nidhi,
the
give
same
me a
question is
time.
true for the
Where we have
BJP. The
compared
same
and
question
compared
today is true for the
candidate
BJP.
for
I'll come to that in
Karnataka.
just a moment. Let me just get in a word from Tanveer Ahmed of the JDS. Mr. Ahmed, is the JDS fancying itself being the kingmaker again?
Firstly, we are not kingmakers. We are definitely the king. We are definitely going to be the king, because dreams are delectable. Reality is quite harsh. Aishwarya, I'm sure when she was speaking about Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar, deep within, she comes from a very, very smart political family. She really understands how deep are the problems. And second thing, Pramila Nesargi, who is a very, very veteran politician, does really understand. She's a lawyer. The amount of corruption which is happening in here, Karnataka, I have never seen in my personal life as well as in political life. Everybody is in trouble. The very own, I think the gentleman who came here before Dr. Ashwath Narayan, who's a very good friend of mine, he deep within, he really understands the kind of governance they wanted to give, the kind of governance they are giving. Absolutely horrendous, horrible. Everybody is suffering. The educational institutes are suffering. The businesses are suffering. The contractors are suffering. The hospitals are suffering. Everywhere there is an infighting which is evident. What have they announced? At the last nth moment, they have announced reservations for two sects, two Vakkaligas and Lingayats. And then
Why
they
are you
are
worried
trying
about
to
it?
lure. Ma'am, please ma'am, I never interrupted you. I never interrupted
Are you worried? I am asking you. Are you worried
Ma'am,
about the reservation? You do not want
Ma'am,
reservation
ma'am,
for
I
the
do-
people
I
in
do-
Karnataka.
ma'am,
You do not want
ma'am.
them.
Okay.
Why
Let
didn't
him
you
answer.
announce
Let
it?
him answer.
Then
Let
of
him
course,
answer.
Well,
and
she's-
appreciate our
Ma'am,
government.
let me-
It is giving reservation.
Ma'am, let me announce. Ma'am, please,
Give
ma'am,
applause.
please, ma'am.
Pramila ji, let him
Ma'am, you're a
answer.
very
I'll come back
decent
to you.
lady. You're a very decent lady. Why are you behaving like this? You're a very decent lady. Ma'am, we are not worried.
I am asking
We would have
you.
really
As
been
a
worried.
friend, I am asking you. I
No,
am
we
taking
would have-
liberty, asking you as a
Okay,
friend.
okay,
Not
okay,
quarreling
okay.
with you.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
asking you
okay,
as a
let him
friend.
answer,
You
though,
are
let
a
him answer because we
decent
have limited
politician.
time.
So I am asking you.
Ma'am, we would have been worried had you announced it about
Tell me.
3.5 years back. We are worried. We are not worried now because just 3 months before election, you are announcing it. Why are you announcing cabinet expansion now? Are you giving an opportunity for other ministers to make money, to loot Karnataka? Karnataka is already in horrendously horrible position because of your corruption. Yeah, and the only thing you are right now relying is halal meat, hijab, bringing infighting between religious. I mean, this is not.
I'll
what
come
Karnataka was
back to
known for.
Pramila Nesargi on that in just a moment. Rahul Ishwar is there with us as well. You know, on this issue of what are the issues that will be in the elections? Again, I come to Amit Shah's announcement about the Ram Mandir opening. Is that going to make an impact or not, in your view, amongst voters? Is that going to trump, issues of roads, etc.?
You want me to answer?
No, Nidhi,
Rahul
just
Ishwar.
two submissions. One, India is a nation and every nation in the world has a left-wing and right-wing voting base. The left-wing usually vote for financial kind of issues, petrol, diesel, oil, and the other issues. The right is primarily based on identity, caste, community, religion. They serve both spectrums. Nidhi ji may be a genuine, liberal who votes beyond community, but I am a Hindu right-wing activist who bases my vote on community consideration too. These are the two genuine spectrums, not only in India but everywhere. And definitely issues like Tipu Sultan or Love Jihad or Ram Mandir will definitely have a resonance. I believe a moderate right-wing position is good for Indian politics because Gandhiji took a very community-centric view regarding many things. So definitely, yes, community-centric issues are going to be crucial. The Lingayat votes are going to be crucial. The Vokalika votes are going to be crucial. The Muslim consolidation, if it is going to happen, is going to be very crucial. Even though a micro-minority, the Christian community, which is very powerful in Karnataka and especially in the major urban cities, are going to be crucial. The other communities are going to be crucial. The Brahmin community vote, even though numerically very less, is going to be crucial. So let us be politically honest about these things rather than being politically correct.
Okay, Sumant Raman wants to come in on that. I mean, no, I'm glad you're being honest about it because yes, this is how voting takes place. But Sumant Raman, on the reservation issue as well, how important is that going to be in terms of how it plays out for the BJP?
No, I think I agree with Tanveer on this. Had this come 2-3 years ago, yes, they could have potentially capitalized on that. But announcing this 3 months before an election, I can show you a dozen examples in different states where in the run-up to elections, reservations were announced and it had very little impact. It couldn't save the ruling parties in those states. So I don't see that as a huge game changer as far as this election is concerned. But it's very sad, Nidhi, that again we are getting into the same, Hindu-Muslim hijab and communal, and I feel sorry that Rahul feels that the voter needs to base his decision on such factors rather than the basic essence of 5 years of governance. And on that, the report card, it is very sad. No, Indian reality. I'm not too sure about that either. I don't think that people blindly vote purely on the basis of polarization. If they have chosen BJP in the past, in some states they may have had good enough reasons to feel that the opposition is not even offering what the BJP was offering. And in Karnataka, again, if the Congress can get its act together, listen, the BJP is going to replace a sizable number of MLAs. There are going to be rebel candidates in the fray. So all of that is going to impact the BJP. So honestly, if the Congress loses this election, I think that it's going to be an absolute unmitigated disaster for the party. They are now in pole position. Let's see what they do in the next 3 months.
All right, Pramila ji, quick last word to you.
They have the ability to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, and they've done it many times.
Pramila ji, last word to you. If development and the government's achievements are all that you want to focus on, why doesn't the BJP only talk about those issues? Why is Mr. Katil talking about love jihad? Why is the higher education minister talking about a Ram Mandir in Karnataka? Why not just focus on development if that indeed is the agenda?
I tell you, we are always on the development play. We always talk about because. We are not worried about it. The other side is worried about it. Why love jihad? We do not want love jihad in our state. I tell you, why should our women be subjected to love jihad? We do not want.
There is no such thing as love jihad, and as a lawyer you should know that.
Now coming to Ram Mandir. What happens, madam? Why they are worried about it? In Ramnagar, in Ramdevar mountain, we want to build a Ram temple which is already there to develop it.
Why we want to develop it? I would contribute for building
environmental development. It will become a tourist destination. It will give employment to people.
Let us speak.
Don't the JDS and Congress wants employment? It is an employment generation. It will give employment to our people. Uneducated will get employment. Merchants will get employment. Why are they worried about it?
Okay, quickly, Aishwarya, you have 30 seconds and then Tanveer. I literally have 40 seconds and then I have to take a break. Aishwarya Mahadev first, quickly.
The fact of the matter remains that if development was an agenda, you would have heard it far more. The second thing is the reservation for these communities is not going to pass constitutional muster, and the BJP knows it. We have no problem with any temple being built anywhere, but when thousands of crores is due to contractors of the state who are basically losing their livelihood, how would they feel about it? When you see that infrastructure is crumbling and you want to have symbolic representations instead of actual development, what do you think the people of this state are actually going to say? We have absolutely no objection to to any place being built anywhere, whether it's employment directly, indirectly, or I don't even know where the logical ends of rationality begins and ends with Ms. Pramila Nesargi. But the fact
Then
remains
why
that
are
the
you
BJP
commenting
is
about it?
embroiled in a lot of controversy. Ma'am, I'll not comment on the decency of somebody interrupting or not, but the fact remains that BJP has no development. Their agenda is completely now communal, and that is the fact of the matter. Otherwise, you come out here, give me numbers, statistics, and show me on paper.
Okay,
Instead of
I
saying
have to
where
leave
it
it at that. But it's clear it's going to be a very, very interesting battle for Karnataka in the next few months. Thank you very much to all of you for joining us tonight. I hope to see you all again very soon as we look at how that campaign unfolds. Thanks for joining us.